Some of you don't have low confidence or low self esteem. You have unhealed rejection. And rejection has a voice. It whispers things like, you're not good enough, you don't belong, they left you because something is wrong with you, or you'll always be overlooked, so don't even try. And if you are not careful, what happened to you becomes who you think you are. And on today, we're talking about that spirit of rejection. We're going to talk about what it is, how it shows up, and how to break the lies it tries to plant in your heart. Hey, y'all, welcome back to Arm with Your Testimony podcast. And I just need you to subscribe, like, and comment throughout the entire episode. That would help us out greatly. So just let's go ahead and jump right into the episode, because I wanted to start with what really made me want to sit down to have this conversation about rejection. And it was the fact that over the years, I had grown comfortable with living as a victim in it. And then one day I was feeling a certain way. It was one of those moments where the situation or the emotion from the situation was louder than the situation itself. And I asked God, I said, why do I keep struggling with this? Why does this hit me so hard every single time? And that's when he showed me my past experiences was shaping how I see myself. And I had let old wounds tell me lies about how other people view me. And once God revealed that to me, and he showed me what was happening in my heart, I realized that I wasn't dealing with just random emotions. I was dealing with something much deeper than that. And so many of us struggle with this. And that's what led me to want to understand how rejection affects us. So basically, rejection begins when the experience of being refused, dismissed, and abandoned or overlooked starts shaping how you see yourself. But the danger is that when rejection stops being an event and becomes an identity, it's when the enemy takes a painful moment and turn it into a belief like, I must not be valued. I must not be lovable. I must not be wanted. But we must train our mind or retrain our minds to not think like this anymore, because rejection is an experience. It is not who you are. And quite frankly, there was a time when I thought something was wrong with me. I mean, I would walk into rooms and feel invisible. And instead of feeling comfortable engaging with people, I would withdraw in a social gathering. I would, in a social gathering, surrounded by people and others, my mind would start whispering things like, nobody really noticed you. Nobody really likes you. Why did you even come? Why did they even invite you? And when it came to my birthday, instead of just simply enjoying the day, as you should, or as I should, my mind would start asking questions like, who's actually going to post happy birthday to me? That's why I should have stayed off of social media right there. Should have stayed off. And another thought would be, who will show up if I have a birthday gathering? And if they do come, are they really showing up for me because they love me, or are they showing up because they just want to be in the number? That is what rejection does to you. It plants questions in your mind, and it makes you doubt your value, your presence, and even the sincerity of people around you. And for so long, I thought that it was just insecurity. But I realized something deeper was happening within me. It was unhealed rejection. So I started paying attention to my own patterns, and I realized that rejection wasn't just something that I felt. It was something that was shaping my own behavior. And I didn't even notice that my behavior changed because of it. And that's when I began to see like little subtle ways that rejection shows up in everyday life. And one of them was, we already talked about it, it can cause you to withdraw in social events. Two is it can cause you to overthink conversations that most people wouldn't even think twice about. I mean, you will replay what someone said. You will question what they meant when they said it. You will wonder why they used the tone that they use. You will read into the pauses between the sentences, and then you will exhaust yourself trying to decode something that may not have ever meant nothing negative or had a negative meaning. And number three is it can make you assume people don't like you based on things that have nothing to do with how they actually feel. And sometimes rejection doesn't just make you misread people, it makes you work yourself to the bone trying to win them over. And you know what that means, right? You out here people pleasing. You are people pleasing to earn acceptance from them. And this is kind of like an example of what people pleasing is, in my eyes anyway. When someone makes it clear through their actions, through their distancing, through their energy, that they don't want to really be around you, even when you didn't even do anything wrong, something in you kicks into overdrive and you start going out of your way to compliment them, doing things for them, and maybe even buying them things. I mean, so now you wasting money. Now you're doing all this stuff, not out of genuine generosity, but out of a quiet desperation to be accepted, to get them to engage with you more, to prove your worth. I messed that up. To prove you are worthy of their time. But the fact is this: you cannot perform your way into genuine connections. You can't do that. And then when rejection is driving you, you'll exhaust yourself trying to get or to earn something God already freely given you, which is your worth. It's free. He gave you. You have your worth. And here's the interesting part. Rejection doesn't always make you chase people. Sometimes it makes you push people away even before they had a chance to make a decision to leave. You push them away. So these are like some subtle ways that I realized that rejection shows up in my life or even in the lives of people around me. So the more I learned about these patterns, the more I realized something important. Rejection rarely starts in the moment you feel it. Most of the time, its roots goes deeper than that. For instance, it could have been planted from a parent leaving you when you were a child, a relationship that ended that you probably didn't even want to end, a friend betraying you, a friend that you wouldn't even think that would betray you, or being the last one chosen to pick, to play on a football team or baseball team or kickball team. Those moments plant seeds in your heart. And if those seeds are never dealt with, never brought to God, never healed at the root, it grows quietly in the background, shaping how you see yourself, how you relate to people, how you respond to love and to connections. You may not even connect your current struggles to those moments, but rejection has a long memory. And the good thing is, so does God. He is not only able to heal what happened to you, he is able to redeem it, to take that very wound that rejection used to limit you and turn it into a testimony he uses to set someone else free. Amen. A testimony that will set somebody else free. And this isn't just a modern day struggle. When you look into the scripture, you'll see that many of the people God used the most walked through deep rejection too. Joseph being one of them. He was rejected by his own brothers. He was thrown into a pit. But that's the same Joseph who eventually ruled Egypt and saved the whole nation from a famine. David was overlooked by his own father. When Samuel came to anoint a king, his father didn't even think he was important enough to bring into the room. Yet David became one of the greatest kings of Israel. And even Jesus experienced rejection. Isaiah 53:3 tells us that he was despised and rejected by men. But rejection did not cancel God's plan for them because clearly they were used mightily, which means rejection does not disqualify you or me either. So hold on to that. Don't let rejection lie to you because you are worthy. You have purpose, and God has a plan for you and for me. The real question becomes, how do we break free from it today? So the first thing would be you have to identify the lie. So, what beliefs about yourself came from something someone else did to you? Now, for me, my biological father wasn't in my life much growing up. And even though I didn't always talk about it, the absence planted a seed in my heart. And a quiet voice used to tell me, if he didn't stay, something must be wrong with you. You see how the enemy creeps in? But one day I remember God started dealing with me about it. He told me to start praying for my father. And he also told me to pray for our relationships. And at first I was like, golly, that's kind of hard to do. How am I going to pray for someone I'm mad at? Pray for someone whose absence created this wound within my heart. But I did. I really did. I started to pray for him. And during those months of prayer, God started to do something within me. He began to impart grace in my heart. He began to soften places in my heart I didn't even realize were still hurting. He began to show me that even though my biological father wasn't present, he had always provided an earthly father through my dad. I don't call him stepdad, my dad. Someone was there for me, someone who would show up for me, someone who would love me in the place of that absence, right? God also showed me that there was purpose even in the absence. I mean, my father, growing up, well, actually, before I get to that, after months of praying, I finally received a phone call from my biological father. And when he called, I remember him saying, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. And he started to talk about how he apologized for not being there. He did. He apologized, and it was crazy because I felt like the conversation just came out of nowhere one night. I don't even know if you remember it, but I remember that because it helped me because he acknowledged his absence. He told me he wanted to do better and to be present in my life. And from that moment on, he did exactly that. But because God had already started healing my heart, I was able to receive that apology with grace instead of bitterness. I could listen to him as he shared the pain he experienced growing up with his own father. And I could understand that he never had the chance to learn what a good father should be. And please take note of this part. The healing didn't begin with the phone call, it began in prayer. God restored me long before the apology ever came. That's how intentional God is. Oh my God. Don't make me cry. That's how deep his healing goes. He doesn't just fix a situation, he prepares your heart for it. And the second and most important way to break free from rejection is that replace those lies that the enemy told you with God's truth. John 15:16 says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you. You are chosen." Ephesians 1:6 says, or reminds us that we are accepted in the beloved. Your acceptance does not come from people, it comes from God. Remember that. Your acceptance comes from God. And Psalms 34:18 says that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. God is close to the very place where rejection tried to wound you. And as God heals those places, something beautiful happens. You begin to see rejection differently. And here's something powerful that you should note. Sometimes rejection is actually redirection. You get it? Sometimes rejection is actually redirection. God sometimes removes us from places that cannot sustain our calling. Catch that and remember that. So always remember, rejection is an experience, it's not your identity. If this message spoke to you, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Armed with Your Testimony podcast, because in the next episode, we're going to talk about something many people don't realize. It's how unhealed rejection can cause you to sabotage the very relationships you've been praying for. Say it again. Unhealed rejection causes you to sabotage relationships that you have been praying for. Until next time, y'all, be armed with your testimony. Bye.